next here on our 4 months of Oscar selection, winner of Best Director for Joseph L. Mankiewicz, we have A Letter to Three Wives, released by 20th Century Fox, adapted by Joe Mankiewicz himself, which also won him another Oscar for Best Screenplay. Smart dude. Here we have a fascinating story about three wives, of course, Deborah, Lorna May, and Rita, played by Jeanne Crain, Linda Darnell, and Anne Southern, respectively. Each of them have some ill feelings on their marriage, despite their feigned happiness. Lorna May feels bad for marrying her boss, played by Paul Douglas, because it makes her look like a gold digger. Rita feels bad for her school teaching husband, played by Kirk Douglas, in a very nice guy role, funny enough, because she's practically the breadwinner of the home, writing scripts for radio. And Deborah felt great about serving in the Navy during World War II, but her new husband Brad isn't exactly for it. So as they board a boat one day for a picnic, they get a letter for the three of them from a friend, Addie Ross, saying she's running away with one of their husbands. And of course, this was the day before cell phones, so they would have to wait until that night to find out which husband it is. Well, that's her idea of a cruel joke. Wit and intrigue is overflowing in this Oscar winner for sure. And I'm so glad I rewatched this, guys, because the first time I saw this film, I was about 17 years old. Yeah, not exactly a film that would resonate with a teenage boy, at least this one. And here I am in my mid-30s, this time really enjoying it. 20th Century Fox was hot on the money of purchasing the rights, which the novel was published in the International Cosmo magazine. Originally being a letter to 5 wives, Melville Baker and Dorothy Bennett wrote the first treatments and never received credit, unfortunately, for only one of their golden inputs was left in the final product, which was having Addie Ross only included as a voiceover, voiced by Oscar winner Celeste Holm, actually, and never seen on screen, which the audience went nuts in guessing who the voice was. And in my opinion, that is just genius, because she becomes such a mystery to us, and in guiding us through this apparently happy-go-lucky town with such infidelity happening underneath everyone's nose, it's very fascinating. After enough battling, Joe Mankiewicz agreed to cut 2 wives out of the original base of 5 wives, even when Anne Baxter was cast as wife number 4, and her scenes were filmed already. But producer Daryl Zanuck said, "Cut it, because they just weren't as strong as the other 3, he said. Producers, man. All the performances are lovely, especially from Linda Darnell, looking so damn gorgeous, and obviously makes us wonder why these amazing actors weren't more famous. Also like Jeanne Crain and the great Anne Southern, not to mention a hilarious and perfect supporting performance from an uncredited THELMA Ritter. Gosh, she's fantastic. Not to mention Kirk Douglas again, and Paul Douglas in his first on-screen credited role, which made him nervous as hell. There are so many terrific little moments peppered all throughout the film. Being Mankiewicz's 6th film, he knows how to develop and place the camera, guiding it with such style. And you can still see his film noir background with how he transitions a scene, which I sincerely love. The little moment when Paul Douglas and Linda Darnell get engaged, her mom fainting to bingo, and the apartment still shaking from the train going by as they're still embracing. It's magical. Now, as far as the screenplay goes, it sure does cook. And of course, even in these days, you have censor problems like Mankiewicz had, with the American censors not permitting him to use words like laxative and toilet in his script. He got back at them with a famous double entendre, which used penetration and saturation in substitution. Mankiewicz was definitely one of the wittiest and intelligent screenwriters of cinema, almost one of those unsung heroes. I mean, when I get to All About Eve, you'll see why. All in all, folks, I give A Letter to Three Wives a B+. If I had one word to describe it, I'd say it's delightful. It's one of those films that honestly doesn't stand the test of time, but studying it retrospectively, you see through and through the magic of its significance at a time of married couples experiencing the turn of turmoil, transitioning into the 1950s, where everything is supposed to be hunky-dory, but you can sense something is a little screwy. And Mankiewicz guides it with soft, lighthearted comedic touches, thanks also to the wonderful casting. But tell me, my friends, have you seen A Letter to Three Wives? What do you think of it? Let me know in the comments, share with your friends like crazy, and get ready for next month as we honor Best Lead Actor on 4 months of Oscar here, which I know you already voted. So in the meantime, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and keep those classics alive.